So guys, it's time to do the cover before we continue. So we have finished 4 pages, which I still need to do all the tags, but first we're gonna do the cover. So I am gonna have cut my 2mm chipboard in 10 by 8 1/4, 2 times, and 1 time 10 by 3 3/4. Alright, so those are the measurements that I need for my cover. So let's make this. I'm gonna use just the normal 160 gram, and of course this will not fit. So how many do we need? So we overlap this a little bit. So yep, I do need 3 pages. And then can we cut this? Well, no, the height is perfect. So I'm gonna attach these 3 pages first. I'm gonna just use tape for that. Here we go. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna peel off. I used it yesterday with glue. Maybe that was not a good idea. Alright, I have this so long, guys. Alright, so let's attach this to here. And another piece. There we go. If you place down your tape as straight as possible, then you can use your tape as guideline to make this straight. Alright, let's grab our chipboards. And you have these 2 attachments. Don't place these grooves because we're gonna make this. Don't keep these grooves on the attachment. So I'm just gonna start in the middle, then I'm always okay. So I'm gonna start in the middle, gluing this down. I'm gonna try to spread it as best as I can. You don't want to have air bubbles or places that are not good enough attached. You don't want that. You want everything nice, settle down. So nicely in the middle. I'm just gonna eyeball it, guys. It doesn't have to be perfect in the middle, but at least away from the attachment lines. Okay, let's grab our next one. Again, of course, everywhere we need glue. You also can use tape if you want. It's totally up to you. Satisfying by the noise, or you get annoyed by the noise. I don't know. Some people love this noise. Alright, so we're gonna keep away 4 millimeters away. Okay, then your paper will not crack. If you're just gonna stay away 4 millimeters. The chipboard is 2 millimeters, so you definitely need the space when you put this together, so that is why I always like to use 4 millimeters away. Okay, let's do the other one. Here we go. Okay, put this on. Again, 4 millimeters away from the edge. You can measure it or you can just eyeball it. Alright. Then we're going to flip this over and we're going to burnish it down. Here we go. Sorry for the noise, guys, but it's needed. Alright, yeah, you can cut this one a little bit down, but it's not that big of an axis, so I'm just going to keep it there. Alright, let's do the corners. There are some people just like to use a tool or measure. I normally do not do that. There is just one tip: stay away at least 2 millimeters, because the chipboard is 2 millimeters. So stay away 2 millimeters from this edge. So what I like to do is I'm just going to cut a flawless diagonal till I reach right here the 2 millimeters, and then I'm just going to cut that down. So this is very important. You also can cut this completely straight, but I love to have it a little bit more. So the same thing right here, just cut till your corner, stay 2 millimeters away, and just cut the rest off. That's how I do it. But if you don't trust yourself, you also can draw a line, but I like to do it this way. Try to be in frame as well. There we go. Okay, maybe I need to zoom out a little bit. Yep, that is maybe better. Alright, so next what I like to do is, this is almost finished, but I like to add tape at the bottom. Not only at the bottom, just all the way around. This one is out. Let's see, where do I have a new one? Oh, here it is. Just a new one. Okay, let's add tape all the way around. This helps staying. Here we go. Yes. Okay, so next what we're gonna do, I like to peel off first the top, and then I like to bend this with my fingers against the chipboard. So you're gonna make sure that everything is nicely straight fold down. Then I like to put some glue against the chipboard, and then the rest of the flap. And then I'm going to start in the middle, and this is where the tape is very handy because it stays right there. If you do not use the tape, then you just need to wait till your glue is dry, and this method you don't. So that is why I like to use glue and tape as well. Burnish this down. I also like to make sure that the top is nicely pulled down to the glue, so you get a nice crispy edge. Yes, alright, let's turn this over, and you can do the same thing. we go. Start in the middle. Yeah, and maybe some of you have seen me doing this a million times. No, I did not make million albums, but yeah, I'm just gonna keep showing this just because there are always people that are new to my channel. So I'm just gonna keep doing this and filming this just before the ones that are new here. There you go, a nice crispy edge. Okay, well, we're gonna do the same thing on the sides, only then you have this little overlapping. This little overlapping right here. I just like to crunch that to the sides, just like this. And then you have a nice crispy edge. This one again, just fold it with your fingers. And glue it down. I like to squeeze down the corners, and then of course I'm also gonna push this down so we have a nice crispy edge. And then it's supposed to be that you have a very nice crispy corner. Alright, let's do the same thing right here. Fold this over. Start always in the middle, push this down on the edges and make it completely glue down. Press the corners and there you have your very nice crispy corners. Yes, alright. Then what I like to do is grab your bone folder. If you have a very small one, then don't press this too hard. Mine is very curvy, so because I have used this for years. So you're just gonna bend your papers into this groove and then you just can fold this. Same thing on the other side. Bend this inwards. And there you go. Nice big album cover is done. Alright, what's next? Okay, next what I like to do is the inside. So I'm just gonna add tape very close to the edges. Of these grooves. Here we go. Alright, so I'm gonna add papers on here that are just a tiny smaller than our cover. And I definitely, if I'm going to start right here, then I am on this groove. So that is not what we want. So I'm just gonna place the first one in the middle. So this is where the tape is so much handier, because it goes right away. Glue down really well. Especially with these grooves, you want to have your paper nice and tight to the chipboard. Satisfying? Annoying? Okay, put this nicely in the middle. Burnish this down. Especially on the tape. All right. Okay, let this set for just a second. It's actually not particularly needed to put paper on this side, but yeah, somehow my head says it's a nice finishing touch, so I just like to do that. I'm just going to overlap that with a 1/2 inch. I can cut these two right away. This week I had, by the way, a snake, not a snake, a snail? Yeah, I think it's called a snail. A snail invasion. Is it a snail? Wait just a sec. Yes, correct. It's a snail. Alright, so a week ago I saw a little group of snails with houses, but I don't want to ruin my plants, so I picked them up and throw them in the green container. They're still alive, but they are in the container, so is that cruel? I don't know. I'm sorry if there are animal protectors. But I just threw them away. But a week later I noticed so many baby snails without houses. Oh my gosh, there were so many, and they are coming out in the evening. So when I was taking out my dogs, I saw many of them going around my garden. And oh my gosh, so I picked everyone up, and I also throw them in the green container so they can have a blast in the container. So I hope they are not getting out. And yeah, soon when they are gonna empty the green container, then I get rid of them. So yeah, I was not that cruel to step on them or put salt on them, because I definitely googled how to get rid of snails in your garden. So every night I go watch with a good flashlight, and I'm gonna search through my plants and grass. Well, I do have fake grass, but So yeah, am I stupid? Well, maybe I am, but I just don't want to ruin, because many years I do see that my plants are eaten by, yeah, I think snails. I never saw them earlier. Well, sometimes I did just throw them away, but all right. So for the snail lovers, don't listen to this. Well, you already did maybe, but yeah. So I hope. Well, I definitely will not have them all, because I googled and they can put eggs many each time. So I think my invasion is not completed yet, but now at least I know where they put them and put the eggs. And I must say the puppy was sniffing there a few weeks back, so maybe were already enough. But at least now I know where they're coming from. Oh my gosh, snail invasion. Alright, so now you have a very nice thick piece of plate. So, but now we're gonna put that groove, and we gently, please pick something that is not very sharp, and we're just gonna bend this forward, and there you go. The papers are nicely inside. Just find your groove and gently push the papers inside. There you go. Cool. So the papers are nicely inside. Wow, this is still nice big, guys. Very nice big. And the 4mm away makes it that your paper will not crack. So yes. Cool, cool, cool. Next up, we're gonna make the binding first. Okay guys, let's get started. So I am gonna cut my page 9.5, and I'm gonna start, not knowing how much we need to cut that down. Where is my, oh, here it is. So my first fold line is going to be a half, no, 1 inch. 1 inch. This piece needs to go in the tunnel. Then I'm gonna score 1/2 inch further, so that's 1.5. Then I am gonna go a 2 1/4. So 1 2 1/4. So that's a 3 3/4. And then again that 1/2 inch. So that's a 4 1/4. And then we can cut this at a 1 inch. Alright, I don't think that we can we use, I don't think so that this fits. No, so we need another one. Do we have some leftovers? Always check if we have some leftovers that are high enough. Nope. Alright, so I need another one. Yeah, let's score this, let's cut this 9.5. And our next fold lines are again 1 inch, 1.5 inch, and then we're gonna go 3/4 further, that's 2 1/4. And then we're gonna score again a 1/2 inch, that's 2 3/4. And then the rest we can cut off at 1. Okay. Always save your little pieces. Alright, so I am gonna give you all the measurements so you can make these yourself. I have the measurements for you guys for the binding system Stack the Deck. You're gonna cut a 5 1/4 by 9.5 inch. You're going to score 1 inch, 1.5, 3 3/4 and 4 1/4. Then you cut another piece of paper 3 3/4 by 9.5, score 1, 1.5, 2 1/4 and 2 3/4. That are the measurements, and then you will get these ones. Yes, cool. Okay, once that is done, you can fold everything. Just take your time to do this, because you definitely don't want any off score lines. You want to have this straight, because your pages are going to be attached on this one, so they need to be straight as possible. Here we go. Alright, next what I love to do is put design paper on the 1/2 inch places. Yeah, and later we also can add, yeah, and also design paper on here. But let me first put these together. That's maybe a better thing to do. Alright, so what is the middle of this? You can make sure that what's the middle of this? This is my middle, and of course, well, actually it is 3 3/4 from each other, so if I make a mark here and 1 2 3 here, then that is the middle. See, that is the middle. Okay, you can make a line for that if you want. To keep it straight. Alright, so that is the place that we are going to put this piece on. So in this middle 3/4 piece, you can put glue on or tape. I'm gonna stay away a little from the fold line. Here we go. Also gonna add just a little glue. Just extra. Alright, so I'm just gonna go in my marks. I'm gonna turn this over. Just line it up. Very important that you line this up. Oh, I'm totally off, guys. Oh my gosh, I am off. That's not what we want. Absolutely not. That's the risk of using tape, but see, with me it also can go wrong. It can always go wrong. This method was not a good one to show you. Well, if it stays there the first time it was, but it was not. And actually, if you line it up, then it would work, of course, but somehow it did not line up. This is definitely lined up now. So what else can go wrong if that piece is also lined up? Yep, see? So the start is very important. Just line up your papers, then you are straight. And I'm not afraid that this will crack or whatsoever, because I just tear this off. Nope, it will stay here. Okay, so this is what we have, guys. This is for our first page. The 1 inch goes in your tunnel. This is our next second page. Then we have our third page. And our fourth page. Those are my pages. Cool. Alright, so I'm going to show you a little bit better. So we have the 1 inch hinges, pieces. So I'm going to add tape, and I'm going to stay away 1/8 away from the fold line. Okay, also on the other side, but don't forget the other side. 1/8 away from the fold line. Front and back. Go. Okay, so on the 1 inch pieces. Alright, so now you see that we have the 1/2 inch and the 3/4 places. We have them black. So this is what I mean. So these pieces are going to attach in your tunnels, and the 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1/2 inch, those are the spots that I like to put design paper on. So here and here, here, and then on 1/2 inch on here. So that is what I'm going to search for. I first go check if I have some leftover pieces that fit. I don't think so, because most of them are too short. So then I'm just going to see where my papers are, and I'm going to see which ones are fitting. These are not fitting. These are too short. So which one do I like? I definitely like this one. It is gentle, not too white. This one I also like. It is busy, it is, but it really pops up and it matches well with the paper. So this is an option. this quite a lot. This one is also a good option. Maybe we're gonna use those two. Alright, so let's decide which one. Okay guys, so I have put my papers on. Of course, be aware if you're gonna cut for a 1/2 inch and you don't cut your papers a 1/2 inch because that's too wide. I'm gonna cut mine a 1/8 shorter. So that's the same with the 3/4, 1 inch, 1/8, so sorry, 1/8 shorter, smaller than what's necessary. So if this is a 1/2 inch, I cut my papers at 3/8. Alright, so that's done. So I put my tape on, because now I'm gonna attach this to my cover. So I'm just gonna peel off all the tape. And again, I also gonna add some, oh, just let the dogs out, so. I'm also gonna add some extra glue, not too much, just a tiny little bit. Alright, that'll do it. Okay, so find a middle. I did make a mark where the middle is, so fingers crossed that it works this time. So I'm just gonna apply, gonna watch my left. I'm also gonna try to be in the middle, top and bottom. I think this is the spot that I want. So press this down. Clean the edges that you don't want to see. Burnish this down while your glue is wet. Oh, there is one thing that I actually am forgetting to do, but we can do that still. It's not that handy, but we can still do that. Is to cut a little piece of the hinge that is going to be in the tunnels. Wait just a sec. Okay, so what I mean with cut a little diagonal is from your 1 inch piece, you just need to cut down a little diagonal till the fold line. So it's just maybe 3 millimeters till the fold line, little diagonal. Makes it easier to place your pages inside. So till this fold line, guys, not over. Here we go. Yep, here we go. Okay. Then what I like to do, it's an option, guys. It's not necessary, but it's just a thing that I like to do recently is just gonna put down a little blot right here. You also can use a silver one. Alright, close this down as tight as you can possibly be. What I have is, where is it? Oh, here it is. A little hammer. Yep, sorry for the noise, but I just like it. It's really tight. There we go. Just close this down. Yes, okay. This will not go anywhere. Cool. Erase your marks. Yes, okay, our hinges are done. I'm gonna wait for the pages, but just to show you how it works is just grab your first page, find the opening of your tunnel, and then you just can apply this like that, and then we're gonna stay away 2 to 3 millimeters away from this fold line, and that looks amazing. It fits wonderful. Yep, cool. All right, so that fits wonderful. Let's go to the outside. I know that this paper will not crack, but I don't know how it will end up if you have your album for years on your in use or in your cabinet or whatever. So I always like to use bookbinder's linen for my spines. So I am gonna cut this just a fraction smaller, not too much, but just a fraction smaller. You always can use this as a little belt or something, so if you want to reuse that. Do we also, well, I don't need to completely use this, but why? You also can cut this if you want to use this piece, but I think I'm just gonna let this overlapping. So I'm just gonna leave that on. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add tape as close as I can get to the edges. Here we go. Yes, then I also gonna add the same as we did on the inside, tape on the edges right where the folding is. Keeps it all nicely down. Here we go. Cool. All right, so I am gonna peel this one off. And then of course this piece also, and then I'm gonna add glue on edges still. Go. And then I'm just gonna try to find a satisfying way. Adding glue, because you definitely don't want to have that your spine, your bookbinder's linen is going to have bubbles or in any way. Here we go. Let's get dirty. Okay, spread this with your hands or whatever you like to use. And let's push it down. You can fold this a little, because it also needs some space, of course. Just push the tape down here. Just burnish it down well. Clean up all the glue that's coming under. Let's see how this folds nicely. As you can see, love it. Love this structure. The crocodile fits wonderful with this Halloween theme, in my opinion. And this is perfect forever. Bookbinder's linen does not crack. So, yep, cool. I like it. Alright, so, let's see, guys, what's next? What's next? I think I first go not adding the pages. Gonna wait till that. We still have 2 pages to do on the inside cover, so I think we're gonna start with that because I have something extra. All right. Yep. Let's do that.